Access modifiers. Access modifiers are keywords that specify the visibility or accessibility of classes, fields, methods, and constructors within a program. There are 4 access modifiers in Java: public, protected, private, and default. Here, classes, methods, fields, and constructors are known as members of Java program. Public. It is a most permissive access modifier. Members marked as public are accessible from anywhere, both within the same class and from other classes in different packages. Where, in protected access modifier, members marked as protected are accessible within the same class, within subclasses, even if they are in different packages, and within the same package. Next one is default access modifier. If no access modifier is specified, the member has default access. Members with default access are accessible only within the same package. Where private access modifier is most restrictive access modifier. Members marked as private are accessible only within the same class. They are not visible outside of that class, even in subclasses. Difference between final, finally, and finalize. Let us see one by one. Final is a keyword. Final keyword is used to apply restriction on class, method, and variable. For example, final class can't be inherited. Final method can't be overridden. Final variable can't be changed. Next one is finally. Finally is a block. Finally keyword is used to place important code. It will be executed whether exception is handled or not. Where finalize is a method. Finalize is used to perform cleanup processing just before object is garbage collected. Here we have the example code for each one. Final example: if we change the x value, it will throw an error. Finally, example. Finally block is used in conjunction with try and catch blocks. Finally block should always be executed regardless of whether an exception is thrown or not. Last one is finalize method example. It holds cleanup code. What is the primary purpose of Maven? Maven is a build and project management tool. It handles the build aspects, example, lifecycle of a project, like compilation, packaging, testing, and deployment. Also, it provides a project management framework that helps developers manage project dependencies, versioning, and project structure. It uses a standardized directory structure. Manages project dependencies by downloading libraries, like jar files, from remote repositories and makes easier to include external libraries in the project. Maven project uses a POM file to define project settings, dependencies, and goals. The POM file acts as the project's configuration file. It is highly extensible and relies on plugins to perform various tasks, such as building Java applications and generating documentation. It enforces consistency in project structures and build processes and makes easier for teams to collaborate and follow best practices. Find length of string. First method is find length of string using for loop. Given string is Java programming. First, convert string to character array. Declare a variable length and initialize it to 0. Use for loop. It will iterate over the characters in the string until reach the end. In each iteration, we increment the length variable by 1. Then print the length. Let us execute the code and the result is 16. Second method is length method. It is a built-in method that is used to determine the number of characters, length, in a string. Length method returns the result and it is stored in the length of string variable and then printed to the console. Here is the result. Find the smallest number in an array. This is an integer array. First, initialize the smallest variable to integer.max_value, which is set to the maximum possible integer value. Use a for loop to iterate through the elements of the array. In each iteration, it compares the current element given array with the smallest value. If the current element is smaller than the smallest, it will update smallest to the value of the current element. After the loop completes, it will print the smallest value to the console. This is second method to find smallest of an array. First use arrays.sort method and then selecting the first element, which will be the smallest after sorting. It will sort the array in ascending order and then get first element of the sorted array. How do you find the occurrence of a character in a string? Here we are going to see a Java program that counts the number of times a specific character appears in a given string. Given string is, my name is Java. We are going to find how many times the character, a, appears in the given string. First, initialize number of times equals 0. Then, convert the given string into an array of characters using toCharacterArray method. Inside the for loop, each character I is compared to the character char to be found, which is, a. If they are equal, the number of times variable is incremented by 1. At the end of the loop, it prints the value of number of times to the console.